where I share tips and hacks to help you design your home your way. It's your girl, Denise Joy. I am an interior designer, a space curator, and I am a 26-year college professor, and I'm the founder of the School for Joyful Living, where I help women who crave community, accountability, and support implement an action plan to help them design their version of a joyful life. Listen, y'all, we sprung forward. Oh my gosh, that time shift, all daylight savings time, it always zaps me out. So I had to take all of Sunday just to recover, trying to reacclimate myself to the time. I know there's lots of science on the whole time shift and everything, but oh my gosh, I don't know if I am alone in this, but goodness, it just like takes me out totally. But when we spring forward, that signals that it's time for spring cleaning. So today I am teaching organizing for the season, spring cleaning strategy. Whew. This is the second to the last episode in my organizing, declutter, downsizing series for the podcast. It has been a ton of fun. I've been getting so many comments and questions and everything. So I appreciate everyone who's been watching. Hey, thanks so much for joining me live. Thanks so much for joining me for the spring cleaning strategy. I'm teaching tips, hacks, things that are going to help you to really reclaim how you clean your home and prepare for the next season. So we are focusing only on the inside of your home for this particular episode because I could focus entirely on the exterior, but there's a lot to cover for the inside. Now, listen, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss any of my awesome videos. As always, let me know in the comments, what state are you watching from? What brought you here? And if you have any questions, make sure to put them in the comment section. And if I can't answer them, I'll point you to a resource that can hook you up and help you out. So I want to start out by just sharing about some of the history of spring cleaning. I call it the fascinating history. You know, as we've evolved through time and our both cleaning practices and awareness of what it means to be clean, the benefits of being clean, the health benefits of being and staying clean and maintaining a level of cleanliness, is always so fascinating to me how we've evolved from sort of home care cleaning methods like using baking soda and vinegar to clean basic things in our home, to keep our pipes running smoothly, to take smells out of the air, and then we shift to things like Pine Sol and Fabuloso, et cetera, et cetera. Those things are so amazing to me. I find it to be really fascinating. Now, for many Black women, spring cleaning is really a cherished ritual. It's the act of when we transition our home from sort of being hibernated, tucked away in the colder winter months. We might not do as much entertaining in the colder months. We're sort of, cocooned up. And then we have this whole ritual where time starts to, well, with daylight savings time, we start to get longer sunlight in the days, and it signals that we're going to open up the home. We can open our windows. The temperature's going to get warmer. It's not as cold and cool as outside. So I know when I grew up, my mom had a ritual where we would clean on Saturdays, pretty much every Saturday. She would always play music, and I've shared this before, but we moved a lot. From the time I was born till I was 17, I lived in 13 different apartments, meaning that we moved a lot. I got used to taking things, packing things up, unpacking things and fixing something up. A friend of mine said that's why you're good at interior design. That's why you're good at organizing. That's why you're good at decluttering. So even something that might seem like somewhat of a negative, because we weren't moving because we were in the army or anything. We just didn't have a lot of money. My mom was a single parent. We moved a lot. So anyway, spring cleaning signals that, but no matter where we were living, my mom always had the ritual in the spring. She'd put on music. We get our cleaning supplies out. We'd be jamming. She'd make it fun. And so spring cleaning is a ritual. I actually started my spring cleaning last week. And because I'm continuing to redo my basement in preparation for me retiring and moving to live abroad. Don't worry though, I will still be doing the podcast from wherever I am in the world. Do not worry, I got you, your girl. I will not leave you hanging. I still have more to do with some of my clothing, but I'm also a person who regularly declutters, really once every quarter, and that's something I recommended in my previous videos in this series. Last fall, I did a cleaning to declutter and downsize my kitchen utensils because, well, not just utensils, also my pots, because like many people, I have way more stuff than I really need. And I know if you've been listening to my podcast, you have heard me talk about the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule says that we pretty much really only touch and interact with 20% of the things we own. Sit with that for just a second. I mean, I often look around my house and I, I jokingly go and touch something like, oh, I touched that, right? Because it's true, right? If you've, let's say you had young children and they're grown up now, and you and your partner or you or yourself are in a fairly, 3-bedroom house, you're only really interacting with 20% of things in that home, in the environment that you're in. Even if you're in an apartment, even if you're in a 1-bedroom, that 80-20 rule can be a shocker, but I repeat it because I just want it to become something that we get used to. Right now, I'm strongly advocating for this is the perfect time to curb your consumerism. That doesn't mean you buy nothing. Now, I did participate in the January Buy Nothing Challenge, which was a hoot because I would go to buy something, go, oh, I don't need that right now. But I do advocate to curb your consumerism. That means that you're so intentional that you really are only buying something to replace something that has either worn out, or you just need something that is different to support you in a goal you have, or fixing something or something like that. So last fall, I got rid of a bunch of pots that I'd had for a long time that no longer supported my health goals. So, looking at what you need to declutter, downsize, and pare down from that perspective of what no longer helps me, no longer serves me, and what will help me is a great way to think. I want you to remember that seasonal cleaning is done in stages. It does not typically happen in one single day. I think sometimes folks get discouraged because you're thinking, oh gosh, if this is going to take me longer than one day or one weekend, I'm going to pass. But you really have to get yourself into the mindset of shifting how you think about how you serve, support, love, and honor yourself. That's really the foundation where I come from when I'm both designing a space with someone or for someone, or I'm helping them to declutter, pare down, downsize, that these are loving, cherished, honorable acts, self-love, reciprocating from yourself to yourself for yourself. And then I want you to also remember what you don't want is to settle for, oh, that's good enough. Because rarely is that true. When you stop at, oh, that's good enough, you are typically stopping just short of actually doing the thing that's going to transform your life. So, oh, that's good enough. Whenever you hear that creeping up in your mindset, stop and say, oh, wait, I am sabotaging myself. I'm the one that's in the way. And so go that extra little bit, do the extra mile, do the extra thing so that you are actually end up with what you want. Once you start your spring cleaning, you're going to lean into the rules and principles of decluttering, downsizing, and organizing, and how to stay organized. Again, I've done episodes 1 through 6. So if you need tips, strategies, principles, the rules of decluttering, look at those episodes because it's all laid out there. I teach it all in those episodes. And some of the challenges of not being organized are things like you try to get organized, but you end up with a bigger mess. You get organized, but your success is temporary. When you start your spring cleaning, you may end up in this spot where you say, oh my God, I don't want to have a bigger mess, or, I'll do this and then it's temporary. That's only that way because you are not following the rules of organizing and the rules of decluttering. And that just means you're going to have to change your habits. You're going to have to learn a new habit, a habit that supports you even more, a habit that once you acquire that habit, it's going to make you feel so, so, so good. Like It's going to transform your life. I don't say that lightly. All right, get your notepad out, or if you're taking notes on your phone or on a computer, because I am going to teach you 6 steps in the strategy for spring cleaning. These steps are easy to follow, so helpful, and number one, they are so supportive. Spring is really the time where we inspect our home on the inside because you want to prevent any issues from becoming bigger issues or bigger problems. That includes looking at your clothing. I had to sigh on this one because a lot of people have the issue and the problem of too much clothing, too many clothes, too many shoes. I'm so proud of a dear, dear elder friend of mine. I was speaking to her this weekend, and she follows the channel, and she shared with me that she was in the middle of her spring cleaning and she had done almost half, gotten rid of almost half, because for almost a year she had been basically complaining to me in our conversations, I have too many clothes, I have too much. And you know me, I'm like, declutter. I'm going through the rules. She go, I know. And she kind of fussed, and I fall back because, we all have to live our lives. And so when she was sharing this with me, I said, what? Well, I'll be darned. I am so proud of you. And she said, and I'm proud of me too. She had a little popper collar attitude. I loved it. I loved it. Too many clothes, too many shoes. Wait a second. I forgot I wanted to take a sip. Too many clothes, too many shoes. So you want to inspect your home, including your closets, so that your clothing, your shoes, pocketbooks, it's not getting out of hand, because it can get out of hand so fast. Okay. Now, what I'm going to go through today is number one, when and how to start spring cleaning. Two, how to do an inventory of what you need to address and so that you can be successful. Three, practicing the rules of declutter, downsize, and cleaning. Four, planning to fix things. Five, practicing organizational and reorganizing principles. And six, get rid of things you no longer need. Let's go into step number one. When and how to start spring cleaning. I recommend that you start spring cleaning the weekend after we spring forward. So for most of you listening, if you haven't already started your spring cleaning, you'll start this coming weekend if you can. If you can't start this weekend, then you're going to put it on your calendar. You're going to say, I'm going to start the weekend of March 22nd. I think that's a weekend. So you're going to start that, and then you're going to spread it out, because not unless you have already been doing what I call seasonal decluttering, downsizing, and organizing, which means every quarter, then you may not have the habit and the sense of what it takes to really go in and do a good deep dive into what it takes for you to spring clean. So that means you may have to do your spring cleaning over 2 weekends. And also, if you have time in the evenings, you might do like an hour, do the whole weekend, like 4 or 5 hours, Saturday and Sunday, and then do 2 or 3 days, and then you'll be done, right? Because most of us really need to open up the drawers, pull open those closet doors, because that's where most of we hide our stuff, right? We hide it in the drawers, we hide it behind things that have, that close. If you have that quarterly practice, like I mentioned, that it might only take you 1 weekend. And I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to get in the habit of doing the caring, generous, honorable, loving gesture toward yourself, that every quarter you are checking into and doing an inventory. What do I no longer need? I'm not avoiding things. I don't have head, ostrich in the sand syndrome, where I'm just blind and saying, I'll look at that later, because you are actually encouraging yourself to make a problem grow bigger, to scale it up when you want to scale it down. So divide the time on your calendar. So you want to make sure that you start with decluttering, downsizing, cleaning, and organizing in that order. Okay. You don't declutter and clean at the same time. You do these things one at a time and be methodical about it so that you can do them decently and in order. You're going to work on one room at a time or one area at a time. So for example, in your bedroom, versus working on the entire bedroom, you may work on your closet first and just commit to knocking that out. If you have a bigger problem in your closet where you just have you have gotten into the habit of not putting clothes back where they go. And again, check out some of the previous episodes in this series because there's a whole conversation about your closet and what to do there. You may take a little longer there, but here's the thing. Once you commit to completing it, you're just going to go through, be consistent, and be patient until it's done. You owe yourself that. You really do. I have a saying, nobody owes you anything, but you owe yourself everything. It's you and you. You're counting on yourself in these situations to deliver and to deliver well. I developed a habit, gosh, at least 30 years ago when my son was young, that I wasn't going to expect more from someone else doing a job for me than I would expect for myself doing something for me. I am the priority. I hold myself at the center of the nexus of love, joy, generosity, and reciprocity. I am the key. So, you know, do this to yourself, for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Play your favorite music. Oh my gosh, I have a record player, old school, right? Vinyl. And I had the music cranked up. I played in honor of Roberta Flack because she just transitioned. I had my Roberta Flack, my Roberta and Donny Hathaway albums cranked up. I mean, it was like a little lit party by myself, solo party. But play your favorite music. Wear something really comfortable, okay? That will help you get started because you'll be relaxed. Always wear shoes. Don't wear flip-flops or sandals or barefoot because something might drop. You don't need that to stop your flow of your spring cleaning. And here's a great tip. If your friends and family are into the community approach, you can do one home at a time together and knock out 4 homes in 1 month. Like everybody gets a weekend. But 3 or 4 friends and family, y'all come together and we're going to do, start with my house here and you're going to have it all planned out. Then we're going to move to your mom's house. Then you're going to move to your sister's house. Then you're going to move to your best friend's house. That's the community approach. It can be fun. It's going to be work. And don't be embarrassed, right? You're like, oh, my house is junky. Listen, it's spring cleaning. That's what you're doing. So when and how to start. These are some great tips. Number 1. Step number 2. Do an inventory of what you need to address and what you'll need to be successful, okay? Doing the inventory, you're going to grab a notepad, or again, if you're just using the notes in your phone, you're going to go through each room and you're going to scan that room. You already know some of the things that have been on your, ooh, that's bothering me list, right? I know you. I know I work with so many people and it's me too. Ooh, that's been bothering me for like a year. And I just haven't paid it any mind. Oh, that's bothering me that I can't really get to or see the shoes the way I want. Oh, that's been bothering me that chair is wobbly. And every time a person comes over, I tell them don't sit there, right? So you're going to go through and do that inventory in each room. Do it real quick. Again, open the doors, open the drawers. That's unorganized. I need to pull that stuff out. I need to get rid of that, etc. And you're just walking through and making a list. You're looking for things that are broken. Jot that down. Make a note. Can you fix it? Does it need somebody who has more skill, or do you just need to throw it out? Jot that down. Ask yourself, does this room have the vibe I want it to have? Spring cleaning is a perfect time for you to acknowledge that your home has lost the luster, right? It's lost the vibe that makes you feel the most peaceful, the most restful, have the greatest amount of joy. That's fine. Things shift. So ask that question. Is there something that should be removed or added? Right? Maybe you need a throw blanket. It gets chilly. I have another elder sister friend who she moved into a new condo, a senior condo home, and by one of the windows she had set up a little library and a reading chair. And she says, "Oh gosh, I just realized there's a draft. No matter what they did, they sealed it and all this stuff. It still was cooler in that corner." So she chose to add a lap blanket so she could have that. So you're thinking of things like that. Is there something I need to add, shift, or change in this room? You're also going to look at the baseboards. Look at the baseboards. Do they need to be cleaned? The answer usually is yes. Baseboards, honestly, you should try to wipe down your baseboards once a month. I know some of y'all like, Denise, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, then do it once a quarter. Clean those baseboards. And then do they need to be repainted? That might be the case. Baseboards tend to be painted with a very high gloss paint. You don't have to paint those as regularly because they'll take more wear and tear. Is there anything missing in the room that you've been putting off? Maybe you might need a trash can in your office area or something like that. Schedule the date you'll start. After you've done your whole inventory, then you're going to schedule those dates. You're going to block that time out on your calendar. You're going to get your cleaning outfit together, set up. You're going to get your cleaning supplies, your favorite things. If you're going more what I call old school and all natural, you're going to get that materials together. Baking soda, vinegar, and that kind of stuff. And also, do you need some more organizing containers? I have one of the how to get organized episode is all about the proper containers that you want to use and repurposing things. In case you are not into aesthetic organizing, you know what that is, where when you open the door of the closet, every single thing is all the same color, all of the containers are, pale pink and I'm just mocking and making fun because I believe in aesthetic organizing, but I don't believe in doing it, kind of over the top. I believe in also repurposing items because for the most part, closet doors are closed and the only person seeing it is you, right? But if you really must have it all aesthetic, do you, boo? That's right, go for it. But you're going to also assess, do you need additional organizing containers because you're going to be moving from decluttering, downsizing, and cleaning and organizing during your spring cleaning. All right, step number 3, y'all. Let me know which of these are resonating with you. Which of these are things that you say, honestly, I need to start that right now. It's fine. It's okay. There's no shame in the game here. It's all about progress and evolving. Step 3, start in the first room and you're going to practice the rules of declutter, downsizing, cleaning. For clothing and shoes, the primary rule is if you haven't worn it in a year, you've got to donate it, gift it, or sell it. If you haven't worn it in a year, you're going to have to donate it, gift it, or sell it. There are a few exceptions, a few, and that usually are things like galas, like if you have floor-length gowns and you do a lot of galas. But then that tells me if you haven't worn it in a year, you're not doing a lot of galas, right? Or special events. You just have to reconsider. I have one ball gown type dress that I've been just holding on to. I haven't worn it in at least 5 years. It's so pretty. I'm right here. I'm going to go ahead and let it go. And I have been to other galas. I just haven't reworn it. So, I'm at that point. It has to go. Right. It has to go. The teacher can't just be a preacher. The teacher has to also be the one that does the thing that she's telling everyone else is the thing to do. So that's going to be going in the pile to be donated. In your kitchen, this is another room you can apply those declutter rules. Do you have too many pots, too many spatulas, too many cookie trays? In one of the previous episodes, I told the story of how I was decluttering the kitchen and I had like 12 spatulas. 12 spatulas. Like, seriously? Really? And I practice what I call one of the declutter rules, which is you set a limit, a maximum. So I said I will only keep 4 spatulas. So then I looked at the 12 and I wanted to, have one this size, one that size, and so on. Got it down to the 4 and donated the rest of them to the thrift store. So things can just sneak up on you. You're out somewhere, which I don't do this anymore. I don't cruise the aisles, like at a Marshall's or TJ Maxx or something, because invariably I'll say, oh, that's a cool spatula. Let me grab that. No, pause, stop. We're just going to stop that. Remember, today is a great day to curb your consumerism. Strolling the aisles, cruising the aisles is just an invitation to ourselves to, buy stuff we don't really need because it looks cool or the color's nice or that's my favorite color or anything like that. So living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, family rooms, be okay with letting go of the things you no longer need. And just, don't talk yourself into, I'm going to use that. because more likely, no, you're not. Straight up, you're not really going to use that. The air fryer, remember when that was all the craze? And I'm not saying it's not the craze now. Someone actually gifted me an air fryer that they weren't using, and I tried it out, and but I found it's not my thing. So I actually was so glad that I didn't buy it. I used it a couple times, but donated it to the thrift store. That's not my thing. That's not my cooking apparatus thing. So all the trends, you try something out, be willing to let it go. If you realize it's not your thing, it was a trend and it was so fine to try it out. Another thing, a few weeks ago, I had a swivel chair. I had a swivel chair that I had purchased when I got the chair here. I purchased that chair at least 2 years ago. It was not the right scale, so the size was off. But I moved it to the basement thinking, oh, I'll put it somewhere. So for 2 years, it was just sitting down here in my basement, like hanging out with no purpose. So I tried to sell it on Facebook Marketplace for like a week. I said, if I don't sell it in a week, I put that chair out on the curb. I put a sign free on it. I went for a 4-mile walk. By the time I got back from my walk, somebody had scooped that chair up. So that's just gifting it, right? Gifting it. It was in excellent condition. Literally had, I think, been sat in just a handful of times. Somebody scooped it up. Be willing to let things go. When you get into that spring cleaning mindset, you kind of got to be a little more ruthless with yourself, right? The goal is to pare everything down, only hold on to the things you absolutely need and love, and that will benefit you. You're going to inspect, air out, wash, and if necessary, replace bed pillows, comforters, and blankets. Spring cleaning is the perfect time for this to happen. Um, I have yet to do, I typically, because I have a backyard and I have a clothesline, an old school clothesline, y'all, which is one of my favorite things about living here. Well, I'll take the blankets out, well, I'll wash them in the dryer, but I then like to take them outside and hang out to dry. Take the pillows and things and make sure they're sitting in the sun. Flip them over to air them out and let that happen over a nice sunny day. It's a game changer completely if you've never tried that. To your closet, you can add cedar paddles to prevent small moths and other insects from creating a home in your closet. Replace your batteries, smoke detectors, remote controls. You could even recharge, like if you have ring cameras and things like that. Use your spring cleaning time to recharge things that have a chargeable apparatus to them. Typical, change your furnace filter. Spring cleaning is the perfect time to do that. Clean if you have ceiling fans and light fixtures. I took my light fixture apart up in my kitchen to clean the inside. These are things we just don't think about. And cleaning that light fixture, every time I do it, I'm always like, dang, it's so much brighter in here. Because that light film of dust or oil, because it was a kitchen in this case, it's amazing. Like, oh my God, I just up leveled the bright light factor in this room by just doing this spring cleaning. Clean large rugs by sprinkling baking soda on them the night before, letting it sit over, well, large or small rugs. Just some baking soda. Baking soda is a natural odor detractor. Then the next morning, vacuum it up. Use your favorite cleaning supplies to do a deep clean room by room. And then if you are into something like sage or Palo Santo or any other kind of a natural air freshener, do that in the entire space to really cleanse the air, and cleanse the space. All right, number 4, plan to fix things. It's kind of my favorite one because I love to fix things. Again, we didn't grow up with a lot of money. And I'll tell you, one of the things, my mom is deceased now, but one of the things that I was always so amazed at when I was young was my mother could fix anything. Now, once I became a teenager and realized, oh, well, she kind of had to fix things because we just didn't have a lot of money. But it impacted me so much that I love DIY. If you watch my DIY videos on this channel, I build things, I repair things. I actually love it. I get a lot of satisfaction and joy out of figuring out how to fix something. Maybe I have a little bit of engineering, I think, in that side of my brain. But plan to fix things or to have them fixed. Okay, so here's 2 tips. Number one, make sure you have your own DIY toolkit. I actually have a video on the tools you need for your own DIY toolkit, but at minimum, a hammer, good hammer, screwdrivers, a couple of different ones, flathead and Phillips, wires, pliers. I said wires, pliers, and a drill. Got to have a drill. I like a good hammerhead drill, but you don't have to add that extra kind of component where it's going to really screw something in very tight. So at minimum, and even maybe a handsaw if you will do some small projects, like if I had to cut, I put a new squeegee piece on the bottom of my glass shower door. Well, when I purchased it, it was longer in length than I needed. So I had my trusty handsaw, measured it out, and then I just cut it with the handsaw. And it was so clean, quick, and easy. So you'd be surprised at the things that you can use a handsaw to do. So you're going to just look around. Remember, you had already done your inventory. So you already have a list of things that need to be fixed. You've already indicated, is this something I might fix myself? Somebody else needs to fix, or should I just throw it out and get rid of it? So do you tackle your DIY items? Plan those on a day. I call those littles. You're just going to take care of the littles. You're just going to knock those littles out. If it's so fun when you can knock out some littles, you're like, oh, I'm feeling real accomplished, right? Your confidence factor just shoots through the roof. But if you need someone else, my tip is to use TaskRabbit. TaskRabbit is like the car share service for home improvement and home handy people. So it works a lot like if you were going to order a Uber or a Lyft or something like that. You go into TaskRabbit, it's an app. People are all vetted. You don't exchange money with the person. It's all done through the app. People are ranked. People give what do you call those? Reviews. I have used TaskRabbit. I recommend it all the time because I think it's fairly safe. Everything still, we must use our good common sense and discernment when someone is coming in our home. But TaskRabbit is a great way for you to have things repaired or fixed that are things that are outside, or you just don't have the time and you're not interested in doing no DIY, nothing. And that's fine. That's fine. You also want to check your windows, drains. In fact, use this time to do some some drain cleansing, whether you're doing baking soda, vinegar, or you're doing some, drain clog. And that's to just keep those pipes in really good working order. Look for leaks, water damage. Check your washing machine hose if you have cracks. Inspect the caulk in your tub, the shower, the commode. I just finished recaulking the seams in my shower, which I actually designed the bathroom. So I'm kind of perhaps even more particular about making sure things still look very nice and pristine. But it's really important because caulk does not last forever. Caulk ages, caulk shrinks. Even if your house shifts slightly, caulk may get off. So these are really important to do under step 4. Plan to fix things or have them fixed. All right, y'all, step number 5. Practice organize and reorganize principles. Organizing should focus on creating a system where everything has a place and you agree to put it back in that place. That's it. That's really the foundation of organizing. It's the way that you start organizing. You agree that this thing is going to live here, and it's the way you stay organized. You agree you're going to put this back when you use it, touch it, or it is moved around. That's really the foundation of, getting organized and staying organized. But here's the thing. If you create a new place for something, this tip, you have to use it because we all get used to how things used to be, right? So if you create a new place for something, you're going to put a note, like a little sticky note, and right on that note, I'm going to say the hammer is now here. Until you get used to the new organization system, create notes so that you do not, until you remember, and you do not have to remember that you moved something and created a new organization system. As I said, I started reorganizing my basement last week in preparation for me retiring and moving and living abroad, which is really, I'm almost 2 years away from that. But I'm starting now because I call that the long game, playing the long game well. And I moved a ton of stuff. In fact, I came downstairs to the basement the other day and I was like, oh, shoot, where is, right? You do the, okay. So my brain is already having to reorient to a new organization system. Personal documents, check your paperwork to make sure you have things up to date, your license, passport, insurance, beneficiary for your bank account, life insurance, and retirement. And make sure that you digitize these items so that they are digitally organized and you have them digitally stored in at least 2 places. All right. Last one, number 6. Okay. Spring cleaning is no joke. That's why I say you're not going to likely do it in a weekend. It will take you probably at least 2 weekends and maybe a couple of evenings to really go through and get your home inspected and pared down and lighter and more efficient and to function in a way that really, really supports you. Number 6, get rid of things you no longer need and plan future projects that might be a little bit bigger, meaning they're discovered during spring cleaning, but you don't complete them during spring cleaning. So donate, gift, and sell. Donate, gift, and sell. Donate is usually when you're donating something to like a thrift store or some nonprofit. They may collect things to help people set up a new home situation. That's a donation. Gift is when you have somebody in mind and you feel like they might benefit from the item. But remember, as I always say, ask them. Don't assume. Let them say no. Be willing for the person to say, oh, thank you, but no, you know what, I don't need that, or I can't use that. And then sell. Selling has its own pluses and minuses, pros and cons. I also have a video on how to sell on Facebook Marketplace. So if you're interested in that, you can look for that video. Are there bigger projects that you need to do in the coming weeks that you discovered during your spring cleaning? Maybe you want to change the paint in several rooms. That's me. I'm going to be redoing my guest bedroom. I actually need to repair a wall and then I'm going to just repaint everything. And I'm going to do that right before I travel to Mexico. That's my plan. I really want that done before I start traveling and doing some scouting trips to look at other countries I'm considering moving abroad to. And then spring cleaning leads you to larger projects like repainting the baseboards. I mentioned when you did your inventory looking at those baseboards, maybe you really need to go ahead and paint the trim in your house. I actually started repainting the trim in my house throughout the winter. I just would take one room at a time, trim around the windows, trim around the doors. And I just do a couple of windows or one window or a couple of doors or one door until I had completed the whole thing right before the Christmas holiday. Took me, I took my time. Doesn't matter how long it took me. I started and I just took my time and was easy with it and made sure that I got it knocked out so that I didn't have to have that on my spring cleaning list. Remember, you don't want to fall into, oh, that's good enough. That's when you stop just short of finishing the thing that will transform your life. Don't take it lightly that doing a good, thorough spring cleaning can help transform your life. Transforming your life is creating a better system that makes you feel more efficient in your home, that makes you feel more comfortable, makes you feel more welcome, more at peace. That's transformational. Don't take it lightly. So for these episodes, I always close out with an affirmation. Here we go. I am ready for a new season. I willingly participate in creating the life and home I want. I hope that you hold on to and affirm this affirmation because, like I say, nobody owes you anything, but you owe yourself everything. Thank you so much for joining me for Design Love Podcast. Let's Talk Design, where I share tips and hacks to help you design your home your way. These episodes drop Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're watching the replay, please shout out your state. Let me know what brought you here. And if you have a question, drop it in the comments and I promise to give it an answer. Y'all have a great week and I'll see you Wednesday on the next episode.